What's up, Victoria? It's Victoria, and today I'm going to put on all of the makeup that you voted for me to put on my face. A lot of this will be newer makeup. I posted a Google form on Instagram and also on my post tab here on YouTube. If you are new to my channel, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button down below. After watching this video, check out some of my other videos. We're talking about newness today, but in a lot of my other content, I like to focus on the makeup that I already have and love. That's the kind of vibe you're into. Stick around. Okay, let's just get into it. So we're gonna start with eyeshadow today, but not because the eyeshadow is like temperamental. These are the results as I see them right now. I don't know how to like close the poll. I put up these options. So the Glaminatrix Nearly Natural, the Unearthly Just a Taste, Bella Beauté Bar's Green Goddess palette, Dior Beige Mitzah, and the Glaminatrix 6-pan palettes, which they are discontinuing. Kind of by a lot of votes, 189 people voted and 30.7% wanted to see Beige Mitzah. I guess I kind of understand because this is the kind of eyeshadow I'm very into and this is my first time interacting with it. I always kind of was under the impression that my channel, the people who watched my channel, were more into indie eyeshadow and eyeshadow palettes than I was, but Dior Beige Mitzah is just a single eyeshadow. There might be a Quint Beige Mitzah as well, but I just have the mono shadow and I've been thinking a lot about Dior this year. I went to the mall the other day with my friend Rachel Ellen Rose. She also has a YouTube channel. I will link to her channel in the description box down below. It was so nice. So I have many a friend who will go to the mall with me and they will spend time in Sephora, but there is something about the Nordstrom luxury makeup section that people just do not with. Like they just do not want to go there with me. I know my girl Rachel, she loves a luxe moment. She loves a luxury moment. So we actually perused and swatched a lot at Nordstrom, which is not something I do super often, especially like in store. I have bought makeup off of Nordstrom, but I have never really shopped too much in store unless like I'm with someone who's like into shopping. We were bouncing around. I looked at the Charlotte Tilbury Heart duos and they were actually quite compelling, but also I didn't need them. But I did ask if they had the one I wanted in stock if I were to buy one of them. The one I wanted was not in stock. Beautiful, heavy. I don't know why they're so alluring to me, but they, for whatever reason, are. I normally just kind of like stop at the Chanel counter. I look at some of the Armani stuff. I will normally go around Charlotte Tilbury and Tom Ford as well. But like Dior's a little like back in this corner. And I never really go back there, but I went back there just kind of explicitly to swatch Beige Mitzah. My guess is that people voted for this because like this is very on my alley. That misquote is on purpose. It's beige. It's mitzah. What does mitzah mean? It doesn't seem to be a real word. The closest word, I guess, is mitzvah. We'll do some swatch comparisons for you. I know you want that, and that's why you're here. This pigtail, she's giving. This pigtail, I mean, she's still giving. This is like the first time I put my hair in pigtails where like I could whip them around and they like move. I need to put lip prep on. I'm gonna put on the EADEM Le Chouchou Lip Balm. This is in the shade Boba Bounce. I received this in PR, but I'm just using it for lip prep today. I'm gonna prime my eyes with the NARS Smudge Proof eyeshadow base. I'll set a beige eyeshadow down as well. I can't remember how I wore this the last time I wore it. I have worn it one time, Beige Mitzah, on my eyes. It wears really well. Like, it didn't crease on me at all. And that's actually quite rare, I find, for luxury formulas, other than like Viseart, like other than the like I guess designer brands. I find that their eyeshadows are always so lovely to apply, but I normally find that they do not always have the best wear time on my oily eyelids. But this really had enduring power. And this is not the first time I've used Dior eyeshadows. You may remember that a couple of years ago, I bought one of their Quints because Amanda Z made it look really pretty. And then I tried it and it just looked awful. I think it's just a matter of like different styles of application between me and Amanda that I wasn't able to make it work. She's more of like a one and done person and there's like 5 shadows in that Quint. Whenever you started putting them on your eye, they just got so muddy and they were all kind of just like mid-tone, so you couldn't really like make shapes on your eyes. It just kind of like gray on top of gray on top of gray, which like I love gray on top of gray on top of gray, but I need like different, you know, tones of that. I've noticed that my like when I put my hand up, it's always blurry and it's not, I don't know what it's focusing on. Just try to get you a good shot of this eyeshadow. You know, very much my speed. The allure, the reason, the who, what, where, when, why. Everyone has Beige Mitzah. Everyone I know that appreciates a sparkly beige eyeshadow owns beige mitzah. Michelle Wong, Steph the Style Stumbler, Steph Beauty Unhyped. Do I know any other Stephs in the beauty space? Well, I don't know if it's just Steph. That's another Steph in the beauty world. She's wonderful. But I don't know that she would care about beige mitzah. She's more of like an indie eyeshadow palette. She's very into eyeshadow palettes, whereas I'm not. That's like not my gig. Everyone has it. And every time, Steph, there is another Steph that has this. Everyday Flat Lay. I believe her name is Steph as well. I could be wrong. Oh my God. Everyday Flat Lay, I love you so much. Oh my God. She's so wonderful. They all have this. And I was like, every time I've seen it swatched, I feel like it really comes down to lighting, which is like most eyeshadows. I swatched it in store and it was like really rich and dark. And now on camera, it's looking like how it did in store. But I feel like IRL, when I put it on my face, when I've swatched it on my hand, when I'm looking at it IRL, it doesn't look as dark as it's appearing on camera. And it really just depends on the lighting, because I get much more of like a flashback sheen when I look at it. But when I was in Nordstrom, and there's something about those designer stands where they really know how to make the light hit everything and look really sparkly. It's the reason I've tried the Chantecaille eyeshadows, because I was in a Blue Mercury and they were just glowing at me from the corner. I said, well, I have to have them. Swatched it and it looked beautiful. And I said, everyone's talking about it. Well, everyone's been talking about it. Like I said, it's like, this is a long standing product from Dior. And I just was like, okay, let's just do it. And then I can show everyone other sparkly beiges that might compare to it. So I have been disappointed in the way it looks, because it's kind of boring. I do love this kind of thing, but we'll get into like the textures of it all whenever we swatch it against some other things that are similar. This is the E27 from Sigma. Just focus on the center of my lid and blend from there, and just put it on my lid. I'm like not looking to do anything like too tough. Let me zoom you in, because I feel like it's like so hard to see with how reflective the shadow is. I don't know. I really wanted to be dazzled by it, because a lot of my friends very much like this. And I don't like dislike it, but it's not as special as I feel like other people find it to be special in this type of thing. I mean, like, other than the wear time, which I really did appreciate it, because I was just like not expecting it to have. We'll do a quick sparkle cam, I guess. It is still very sparkly, but it's just much more subtle than I want out of a one and done. This is like the daytime version of like the thing that I really like. The allure has been a little bit shattered for me. I'm not gonna lie. I don't have anything else on my face, so I feel like this color is kind of like washing me out almost. I figured we could go up against some big hitters. I've been talking about this eyeshadow for almost 16 minutes. I was talking to Juliet, who is mostly matte on Instagram. God, I can't remember shit right now. I'm at the lawn. And so I feel like I'm not really like sneezing, but I'm pretty allergic to pollen. So I'm not really like sneezy, but you know how sometimes when your allergies are bad and you're just like kind of hazy? That's kind of where I am. Like my brain's just not working. I like was talking to Juliet last night and I was just like talking about the nuances of browns is my boyfriend. And like, I just proved it just now. I've been talking about a freaking single eyeshadow. I'm trying to see if I am missing any of them. Now I'm going to compare it to other single shadows that I have in the top drawer. I'm not going to go into palettes at all, because like this is what I would do with. This is the kind of thing. This is what I do. Dior Beige Mitzah. Then we have Elephant from Chantecaille. Then we have Mink from Victoria Beckham Beauty. Then we have Diamond Dog from Urban Decay. Smoky Quartz from Charlotte Tilbury. Then we have 67S from Armani and the Liquid Shadows. And then down here we have Crystal Constellation from Phytosurgeons. So when you look at them, there's just more sparkle in all of the other ones, which is what I like. And I know I'm like sitting here like showing you like I'm a kid, like telling the child a story where I'm like, guys, look, I know I'm so far away. So let's see. So it's just really smooth. And I think a lot of people would really like that and might prefer that. And you can also tell there's like just much less of a base color. I think I like a stronger base. The only thing that has much lighter base is 67S from the Armani Liquid Shadows. And that's more of like a topper kind of color. And honestly, I think tapping that onto Beige Mitzah would like bring it to a level that I would really appreciate. And then you can just kind of see like how much sparkle is all the way through all of the other ones. So this is just definitely a metallic and it doesn't really have much sparkle to it, which when I'm wearing this kind of thing, that's kind of what I'm looking for. And what I'm looking for in a one and done shadow is like high impact, but like I don't have to do a lot of other work. I think for beige mitzah to work the way I want it to would require like a strong eyeliner and then maybe some mattes to build more of a shape. I feel like when I put on mink or elephant just by themselves, it just is a standalone thing. And I just don't think beige mitzah for what I'm looking for can really hold its own. I just think it's the least special version of this in this family. But I also think it's a pretty good eyeshadow for some people. Like if you're more into metallics than sparkly and you've always wanted to participate in like the sparkly taupe madness, but in a way that's more up your alley, then the Dior Beige Mitzah might be for you. I wouldn't buy it again. I'm not like having such a bad time with it that I think it's bad either. For I think it was $34 or $36. For $36, I'm gonna need it to do what a smoky quartz or a mink can do, because those are about in the same price point and I feel very happy with those purchases. And this one I'm kind of like meh on. But that's okay. We live, we learn, and I can pass that information on to you, which I'm glad I was able to. It was really important for me to swatch all of those next to each other for you to really see. And if you want to see the other ones on my eyes, they have all been on my eyes at some point on this channel. Look for it. Look for it, babe. I wear a lot of those shadows quite a bit. I'm going to prime my face. For on my nose, I'm going to be using this. This is from TONYMOLY. They said this in PR, and I find that it's a pretty good nose primer. I'm trying to get like all the sparkles off my hand. There's no way that this chair, if you were to like power wash it, that glitter wouldn't just shoot out of it. Like glitter would just shoot out of it. Like it would have to. Every time I rub off my hands to try to get off glitter, I rub it into the chair. And you know what's weird? It is an effective way to get rid of the glitter, but I just don't understand how there's not so much glitter in it that that's not ineffective at this point. Hi, Riot. Oh, I'm gonna use the Victoria Beckham primer on the rest of my face. You guys remember what brush I said I would use to, apply primers? I remember. My skin's already starting to clear up after not using the red light therapy mask for a couple of days. So, okay, everyone, turn your listening ears on for Tata again. I will try it again, but I need this all to go away. I need a firm restart. I don't care if I lose the progress that I had started with the red light therapy mask. This was crazy when my skin's more balanced. I have a trip coming up in June. I want all of this gone by then. And if it's not gone after like a month, then I will go to a doctor because someone was like, maybe you need further assistance. I'm hoping it doesn't come to that. I'm not acne prone to things usually, so like this is very weird. So I'm just hoping it will all figure itself out. For foundation today, I put up the Giorgio Armani Lasting Silk UV Foundation, the CoverGirl Clean Invisible Foundation, the Mob Foundation, and then also the Hourglass Skin Tint. And the winner with 35.4% was the Hourglass Skin Tint. I'm so glad this was the winner because I feel like I haven't really spent much time with this and it's just kind of like been sitting there and I'm wondering what that is because I have just not been compelled. I haven't been drawn to it, you know, like it hasn't called me. I don't really know what that's about because I remember liking it the one time I have worn it so far. Do I have to shake it? Does it say shake well? Shake well. I caught myself. I don't usually, but it was like, it's a skin tint, so I probably should. You know, I should maybe just like build in the instinct of like, how do I do this without looking weird? Stressed. Baby girl, what was I saying? Baby girl. Yeah, I tried it once on camera and then I haven't put on my face since. My friend Andromeda sent this to me and they really love this. So I'm wondering what didn't click, what didn't resonate. I do think I used a specific brush when I applied it last time. I'm gonna use a denser brush to kind of push it into my skin. I'm gonna use the BK 101. I'm gonna just kind of like reassess it because I feel like I don't remember anything about this. I was a little bit red on the top of my cheek there. I feel like I covered it quite well. So it's kind of like the Lisa Eldridge skin tint where it's like more coverage than you'd expect, but you can still see my skin through it. So like I would say it's more of like a light coverage foundation kind of coverage, not really like what I would consider to be a skin tint. It looks really lovely. It's kind of glowy. It looks healthy. It looks great. It looks great. So I guess like no complaints. But also, as I was applying it, I was like waiting for that moment where I felt like wowed by it too. But I guess I'm not wowed by it, and maybe that's something I couldn't really put my finger on the first time I put it on my face. But like the Lisa Eldridge skin tint, I do recall last year when I was like first trying it, I was just like kind of like wowed by it every step of the way. And like, this is good. It looks good. It's applying well. But like, I guess I'm not feeling wow. But it's blurring. It's doing everything I would want it to do. So I guess I don't really have a complaint about it. But like, I'm wondering what the missing piece is here. It also feels like it's kind of like setting. Here's the deal. Maybe I was thinking, I feel like I have a lot of complexion products I've been trying. So maybe we'll do a bit of a complexion roundup. We'll also include my permanent collection and kind of just like go at it. That will take me a couple of weeks to put together. A friend is sending me the milk skin tint, which I wouldn't have bought, but someone is sending it my way. Add that to the list, and then I'm fairly certain, I don't think there's a skin tint, but I feel like there's always me and Andromeda, well, I would say Andromeda is always sending me complexion products, and then I would say like once a year I send a package back to Andromeda with stuff for them to try. I just feel like there's a lot of complexion stuff I have going on. Okay, so here's what I'm saying. I think it looks gorgeous. I think it's a good color match. This is in the shade 3. And it did set. It has a glow, but like it's a little bit tacky, but I don't feel like when I'm touching it, I'm picking it back up. And I feel like people with dry skin really liked this. I guess what I would have to do is put like Lisa Eldridge on half of my face and this on half of my face and kind of like be like, what's the missing wow factor? Or maybe it's because it reminds me a lot of the Lisa Eldridge, where I'm like, the Lisa Eldridge, when I tried it, was like, it felt very like revolutionary type of product, like a skin tint that had this like amount of coverage. Also, I had tried the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Tint. That feels very similar. It feels like a foundation coverage more than it feels like a skin tint coverage. Even on top of all of like the breakouts I have, like it's not covering them, but the coverage looks really natural. It doesn't look like I'm trying to like quote unquote hide my pimples. It looks like I just kind of like enhanced my skin. So no complaints. Again, still not feeling like wowed by it, which is so interesting, isn't it? For concealer, I only put 2 concealer options up. I put the Décolleté palette and the Westman Atelier concealers. This one voted. I'm not even pulling up the chart. I mean, I'll post it for you, but I'm not going to tell you the percentage because this one was like the first and only thing that like won by a long shot, but that was because there was only 2 options. The more options I gave you, the less clear and closer the votes were. I have been playing with this quite a bit. I feel like these came to me around the same, well, actually I bought this. I think this has been in my life longer than this has been, but I have gone to the testing drawer purposefully to play with this. I do really like it. I do just think the color's a skosh off for me. So close to being, I think, a good match, but I think it is just a little too yellow. And the longer I have played with it, the more I do find that it does want to set down pretty quickly. I find that I have enough time to blend out both of my under eyes, but there's a lot of coverage to this. Like, it's a very high coverage concealer, much higher than I was expecting, because I use the Victoria Beckham, which is very expensive, and I feel like Victoria Beckham and Westman Atelier's ideal consumer, like who they're selling to, are looking for a similar outcome from their complexion products, something that's going to work really well on maturing skin. But this is like a full coverage matte concealer, and I find that you have to be pretty careful with it, or you can easily go overboard. Now, I also feel like it has a beautiful finish to it. Beautiful. It's beautiful. It actually does remind me a lot of the Victoria Beckham. The Victoria Beckham FL1 is the shade that I use. I find that that is a better color match for me. It's a nice little bit of a brightening shade. I don't know if you can tell. I think between the skin tint and the concealer, there is just a slight bit like, I feel like this is a really good match, the skin tint, and I just find that like the Westman Atelier concealer is just a bit off. So if you are any fairer than me, I would say that you wouldn't be able to use this, but upon swatch, you would know that. I just feel like this range starts a little deep, and it's Westman Atelier, so in my head, I have to imagine the shade range is probably not very good beyond that. The in-betweens, the depth, you know, like I just don't think that they have that. But this is a really beautiful formula. I know that they have in the past expanded the shade ranges on other things, so I would love to see an expansion, lighter, deeper, more olive, you know, like I want to see it all, because I think it's a really lovely formula, and the packaging is really nice. This is like heavy glass. I mentioned in the first time I talked about it, I'm not sure with as far as accessibility goes that this, like the cap is kind of small and like awkward, and everything is smooth. What I do like, even though it is glass, and it seems like they probably are trying to keep as much of the product covered as they can. There is still a window here for you to see as you're using it up. So yeah, I really like this. And my assessment is that like, it's a very good concealer. Would I buy it again? No, I still think I like the Victoria Beckham over this, but like, it's been really lovely to use. And perhaps if there was a better shade, like a perfect shade for me in this range, I think I would be like, it's on par. And, you know, talking about those two brands, it is the cheaper option. And I think you get way more product in this too, which this is also not a ton of product. Like, it's just like, you know, apples to apples really there. I'm going to be doing powders for the rest of my face. So I am going to powder my face and then we will move along. I meant to say this when I was talking about the concealer. It doesn't really crease under my eyes. I find that it wears really well throughout the day. I think it is matte, but I don't find it like super drying. I don't feel like it makes my under eyes feel like crepey or anything like that. Yeah, it is lovely, but I feel like kind of the same way about it, I guess, as I do the Hourglass. Really beautiful, perfect, does everything I want it to do, but okay. Unlike the Hourglass, I have been going over to Reach for this. I've been doing a really good job. Now that I have freedom of concealer, that I have gotten through the Surratt Dewdrop Concealer, now that I have given myself the freedom to move on to other things, I just have been I've been playing with all of my concealers, testing drawer concealers, my permanent collection concealers. I've been wearing a lot of the one from, what is that brand? Refi. I've been wearing a lot of the Refi concealer all over my face recently. It's been my go-to daytime look. I was trying a new powder last night. In my head, I was comparing it to this powder, which is the one from Hourglass. And I think this one's got the juice. I think the one I was trying last night does not have the juice. In my last video, literally, I said, can I repress the Chantecaille powder? And one person who said that you use this powder all the time, you've been through many of them, you said I could, so I did. All it took was one person, everyone. Just one person said, you could do that. And I said, okay. When I was talking about it in my last video, I was just kind of like, I'm not that attached. Like, I have another one, so it won't be the worst, but it seems to have worked just as well. I had a couple options for bronzer. I had the Mauve Cream Bronzer. I also had the CoverGirl True Blend, which was like more of like a contour stick. And then I also have the Surratt Grisaille. In case you missed it, I bought Grisaille from Surratt, and it is supposed to be like a contour shade. That's how they describe it. And I have been finding that it's just a little too warm for my liking for contour. Now, in the pan, it looks like a contour. And I'm not saying that it doesn't, and I'm not saying that it wouldn't work as a contour for many people, but there is like a peachiness to it that warms it up just enough on my skin. That's that. It's very soft. It has the beautiful Surratt slurry formula, which is so easy to blend on the skin. But I'm going to swatch a little of Intuition from Ritual de Fille next to it. This is Ritual de Fille's Intuition, and then this is Grisaille from Surratt. You can tell, and when I put it on my face, I think a couple people were like, it kind of just looks neutral on your skin. I feel like it pulls, and it's not like a ton warm, but it's just like warmer than I would want for a contour. I'm really looking for gray when I'm looking for a contour. So I was a little bit like bummed whenever I tried it and it pulled a little bit warm. I have been wearing it as a bronzer and it works quite well, I feel, as a bronzer. A very neutral bronzer on me. Not quite a contour, but it does sculpt more than I would say like a bronzer does. I don't know. It just looks like a really nice bronzer on me. I think it's even a more neutral, probably brighter bronzer color than the one from Gucci, which I really like. But this is like, if I want to put a little bit of color on when I'm doing a look that is very cool toned, I think this would be the perfect bronzer for that. But it still feels like a bronzer more than a contour, if that makes sense. Because again, I'm looking for gray. Do you see how it warmed up my face? But I could definitely see how on some skin tones, this would be a beautiful contour, bitchin' bronzer. And I do love their powder formula, so that's really nice. I mean, I need another bronzer, like I need a hole in my head, but this is the first thing so far that I'm like very much like thinking, can I incorporate that into my world? And I think when I build travel palettes, this could be very useful because I probably wouldn't haul the Gucci bronzer, but I could put this in a magnetic palette very easily. For blush today, I threw up the options of the CoverGirl True Blend blushes, the Trixie Cult Classic Blush, the Glaminatrix Liquid Blushes, and the Glaminatrix Blush Duos. And in first place, kind of very overwhelmingly, was from Trixie Cosmetics. Cult Classic. I know that they just launched some stuff. I think they're sending it to me. They said they added me to the PR list, but I see other people getting their PR packages and I haven't. And that's okay. Like it's totally fine if they just chose not to send it to me or like they chose not to like send me PR. That's like no hard feelings. Also, possible it could still show up. I just got like a shipping notification from a thing. Some brands tell you when they're sending you PR and some brands just kind of like, there's a bit of an assumption. There's no blushes that are being launched. It's like, it's an eyeliner and lip liners. So, Cult Classic. I was actually kind of surprised that you guys were really excited to see this on me again. I've been wearing this in my free time. I really like this blush. It's the shade of all my blushes. Throw a stone, find this blush in my makeup collection challenge. Everyone's rich. It's just kind of my favorite blush color. This is a perfect time to tell you the absolute insanity that me and Rachel were participating in. We're at the WESTMAN Atelier display. It's a 2-bay display with Giorgio Armani on the last bay of the island. So we're at WESTMAN Atelier. I bought these for a very specific video. So we were swatching these and there's a lot of browns found in those blush duos. So we were swatching those. We were swatching the bronzers from WESTMAN Atelier. We were swatching the cream contours. We were swatching the cream blushes. We had so much brown stuff on our hands. And I had some of them. Rachel had some of the others. We were pointing at browns and being like, that's really pretty. And if you mix that with that, we were getting so into the nuances of brown, rosy brown, brown, neutral brown. And we were just living our best life. And then almost at the same time, we just kind of looked at each other and we were like, this is absolutely bananas that we are doing this. Like, I do feel as though a couple employees walked by and were like, what are they doing? Like, we were like, like, I can't emphasize enough that we were just like so up in our business, like just looking up around things. And it was so funny. And yeah, you'll just have to wait and watch Rachel's channel to see what she bought and what she thinks of it. Let me tell you, there was a moment that both of us were like, we can use the deepest contour. When you're looking at brown, brown cosmetics, when you have such passion for brown cosmetics, you're like, I could really do that. And of course, we did not mean to like have a black stripe on our face. It's just the undertone. And if you really sheer it out, if you really use technique, you can really make it work. That was our lunacy. But also, I've gone shopping with my friend Rebecca, and whenever she sees my arm, she's like, you only swatch brown things. And I said, yes, of course I do. I'm in my color era. This is Cult Classic from Trixie. I have chosen to wear this a couple of times. I think the grand problem is if I am like buying something for review, this was like not a want. It was like, I want to review Trixie. This is the blush that I think suits me and what I would wear the best. You want to buy like colors that you will use a lot, right? But then whenever you buy the color that you use a lot, it means that you have a lot of this. And so anyway, but I do like there's a little bit of like a sheen in this blush. And it's really, really pretty. I feel like there's a little bit of like a ruddy quality to it, but it doesn't read like so warm. And this looks great on my cheek. Also, I feel like it on top of grisaille. Now that's a combo. That's a number 2, you know? Number 5. I should have picked a number that wasn't poop or pee. I do have to be a bit careful applying this because it definitely is like supposed to be for someone with a deeper complexion than myself. It's really application, technique. Like I said, it's all in the technique, babe. That's what we were saying whenever we were looking at that deep contour from WESTMAN Atelier. Neither one of us bought it, by the way. I want to make that clear. Neither of us walked away with that. But it was considered. I went a little too hard. I flew a little too close to the sun. I'm going to take my powder brush. I was just applying and I was having fun. I was having fun applying it. Just gonna blend out the edges. Go a little bit over. Nothing a little bit setting powder couldn't fix. But gorgeous, stunning. Cult Classic is that girl. I don't know that it's like my favorite blush formula I've ever used. Hey, Trixie Cosmetics, if you're watching, if you spent the time to watch my other videos, can you make this in the stick formula? Can you make transfer Cult Classic to your stick blush formula? Thank you. That's just what I would like. That's just what I would like. For highlight, I threw up Trixie's Cold Shoulder, Mob Hyaluronic Balm, the CoverGirl True Blend, and the Bella Beauté Bar Green Goddess. And by a hair, Trixie's Cold Shoulder one. This is very icy, and the eye look, and I think everything else I have going on right now is pretty warm. So we're gonna have to be very careful while we apply this, but I think we can make it work. And I also think I'm gonna do a layer of it on my eyeshadow to cool off the beige a little bit, and I think that will bring it all home. I will be honest, this highlighter I have not really reached for at all. I have put it on my eyes a few times and I think it's a really beautiful eyeshadow, but as a highlighter, it's too many. It's too much. It's just too much for me and my taste. But it's not bad if you like a strong highlighter. I'm trying to apply just the gentlest sweep. This is the Sonia G Soft Cheek Brush. This is my favorite brush to highlight with because I find I have a lot of control over how much I apply with this brush. I find that denser highlighter brushes with most formulas just really overdo it for me, and I just feel like I get a soft, enhanced glow from this one. And boy, is it pretty. Actually, like that, I like it quite a bit. I feel like the first couple times I applied it on my cheek, it was just like pretty heavy feeling and looking, but I had yet to apply it with this brush. I still don't love how much sparkle is in this highlighter. The highlighter underneath, like if they took out the glitter chunks and just let it be that soft highlight that's kind of happening underneath, I think you'd have a really winning formula, Trixie. And for people like me, for boring Bettys who are like, I really love a cool tone highlighter. So like without the glitter, like I see something there I quite like. Trixie, if you want to, Trixie Cosmetics, I'm absolutely not the first person you would ever ask to collab. Oh, I wouldn't be your first collab anyway. But if you ever do want to collab, I have some thoughts. If you want to add me to the roster to bounce some ideas off one another, I have some good ideas because you make such great cosmetics. I really like a lot of what you're doing, but also I have some ideas that I want for me. Love me. Let me do what I want to do. Oh, I do want to put it on my eyes too. I forgot. Oh my God, I freaking forgot. This is one of my favorite tricks. So take a really fluffy brush. We're gonna dip it, and we want to fill it up a little bit more than we would our like highlighter brush because we're putting it on the eye, and I do want the sparkle on my eye. I'm gonna flick off, and then I'm gonna just sweep this over beige mitzah. Do you see how that kind of like added the X factor to beige mitzah, the X factor that I'm missing from it? Putting this on top really made it like the thing I want it to be. Do you see? Gorge. That's so gorgeous. That's so gorgeous. I love it. I'm gonna throw on mascara. I forgot to do that earlier, so I'm just gonna put that on real quick and then we'll move on to lip. When I went to Sephora with Rachel, it was part of the Sephora sale. Now, like I said, I bought this for a very specific video. Like this is like specifically for another thing. And I was kind of like perusing and some things actually caught my eye, and it was like a lot of lip product. So I did buy 3 lip products during the Sephora sale, and I threw them all in the mix without you guys really knowing that I had purchased them, unless you follow me on Instagram for votes. CoverGirl's Lip Plumper, NARS Bewitched, Trixie's HR Honey, Fenty Rose Amber Lip Oil, Fenty Icy Amethyst Solid Gloss, the Mob Black Lip Balm, and the Merit Lip Liners, which I had briefly featured once, but I was like, I'll throw them up to see if that's what people are interested in. With 20.1%, the Merit lip liners were the thing that won. But I think we can do them in conjunction with the Fenty products because I think they'll work. Since you wanted me to feature the Merit lip liner, this is the Merit lip liner in the shade Mayfair, and they sent it to me in PR. My opinion on this hasn't changed since I first told you about them. So I don't think that everyone will like this product. And I especially think people who like lip liners will not like this product because it's like, it's just imagine like a satin lipstick in a lip liner form. Now, I have found that the staying power is longer than you'd expect it to be, but not all day. So it really depends on like what you're looking for. Based on what I have seen reactions from people who have this, is that people who don't typically like lip liners really like this product, and people who typically really love sturdy, long-lasting lip liners don't like this. My resolve when I first tried these on, or when I first told you about them, because I had tried them a couple times, is that this is something that I think you absolutely need to like go touch in a store if you can. Like if you have a Sephora that carries Merit near you, you can't make up your mind about them. This requires some interacting with, I think, to be able to fully make the decision. I would say I like them. I'm not sure I would buy them. I got it in PR and I'm liking interacting with it. I reach for them quite a bit, but I think that's just because they're easy. Not that like regular lip liners are like hard to use. There's just something about going blah, and it just is because like they glide so much. There's no tugging, but yeah, it's just a very specific product. I think it like fills a hole in the market that like doesn't exist, but also it's like, but why too? So I get why people are into it. I get why people are not. I do, for some reason, just like kind of fall in between. This is like a mauve shade. I'm going to apply it to like most of my lip. I think there is a sharpener. Yeah, there's a sharpener. This formula is really soft. I'm not sure how well that would go. And it is a twist up. And I do prefer for my lip pencils to be like wooden pencils that you sharpen. I think that's really pretty, and it doesn't require like a lot of buffing to get the blurred lip line, and that's what I do prefer. I don't know, I have found them like quite useful. I like the way they look on my lips. I like how easy they are. So all of that being said, that's how I feel about that. But recommendation is to go experience them in person. Not like really, you don't really need to put them on your lips. Like swatch them on your hand, let them sit for a little bit, wipe them off to see, like, cause like they do leave a stain, but it's like not the strongest, it's like, it's just a very specific thing. It's a very specific thing. Some of you will love it. Some of you will hate it. I haven't bought a Fenty product in so long. Okay. I haven't bought a Fenty. I have not been inspired by Fenty in so long. However, a couple of times at Sephora ago, I saw this on the display, but they didn't have any in store. And this is the Icy Amethyst Gloss Balm Stick. And this is what it looks like. It's a sheer purpley thing. And I think this was viral because when I picked it up, it was the last one. And one of the employees was like, that went viral. So I was just assuming that it did, but this missed me. But what I will tell you is I love this packaging. Like, it's so beautiful and tactile. And the five-agon, I don't know what whatever a five-gon, a quintagon. Is it just hexagon? I think hexagon is 5, but it's beautiful. Like this is on, it's embossed. And then like the sparkly packaging, like I love a sparkle, like, and it's the color of the product inside. So if you bought more than one of these, you would know what color it is. We'll put that on second because this one's just a little more visible with the sparkles. That was just kind of like, ooh. 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 And then this is the Fenty oil, the Fenty lip oil in the shade Rose Amber. And every time I am about to say Rose Amber, I have to say it's not Amber Rose. It's not Amber Rose. Gloss Balm oil. And it's beautiful. It is beautiful. And I only knew that this existed and I wouldn't have sought it out. But Steph, Beauty Unhyped on Instagram, she had talked about it. She was like, taupe lip gloss. And I was like, taupe lip gloss. I love taupe. I said this in the past and I think it's true. I don't think I love a lip oil. So I'm going to apply this. Keep in mind, I do have the lip liner down. I'm going to apply the amount I think you're supposed to. And I do think this I haven't had a Fenty gloss balm in a while. So I think this is a different applicator. But I could be wrong because I feel like I remember the Fenty glosses having that like chair kind of applicator, that kind of like scoopy one, that big round one. I'm going to apply this real quick. And this does not, it doesn't smell like I remember Fenty lip products smelling. I remember it having like a faint peach scent. This smells a little bit different, but it does have a scent. I don't find it unpleasant, but that's it on the lips. So I would say that this is a taupe lip oil. However, if I apply more to try to build up the color, because I think I want it to be a little more pigmented, like I want to show up like that on my lips. However, if I apply that much, the lip oil moves around a lot and it gets gloopy and it wants to fall off. If I'm applying it to my lips, the application is more like what's on the top of my thumb here. Like it's still pretty. I want that. I want a gloss that does that when I apply it. I think applying it with like very cool toned lip liners has been really beautiful. I've worn this a couple of times, but I really want to lather it on to get this, but it really in reality is this. I also feel like the sparkles aren't very apparent. Like I feel like when you look at this, you're like, oh, there's so many beautiful sparkles, and they're certainly there. But yeah, I think it's pretty, but I wouldn't buy that again because I want this. And if Fenty made like a regular gloss in rose amber, I would be 100% interested in that. I'm only mildly interested in this. So I wish it was this. And I'm not saying that Steph Beauty Unhyped is wrong. We might just have different tastes in lip product, but she showed it and I said, I need that. I don't think I love a lip oil formula. Not theirs. The only lip oil I really liked is the In Beauty Project one, but that one's thicker and has some tenacity and I feel like it sits on my lips. This one's like thinner and runnier and it's pretty. But I also, as someone who has a big lip, maybe someone else with big bottom lip experiences this. If I get something too gloopy, it will literally like drip from my lip onto my chin. And it's so gross. And whenever I tried, the first time I wore it, I applied it so much that I got the opacity that I wanted. And then it like glooped onto my chin and I said, right. Okay, let me take that off real quick and then we will apply the sparkly one. It's funny because when you wipe away the lip gloss, there's a nice amount of sparkle that gets left behind, but I feel like, kind of like with the new Merit lip oils that are like sparkly, the sparkle just makes it look shinier. It doesn't really make it look sparkly. On the other hand, we have this, the Gloss Bomb Stick, and these are sparkly. It's still sheer. There's not like a lot of base pigment, but it really is about that sparkle. I had a lip frost from MAC that was similar to this. And I think I also had a Kat Von D lipstick that was very similar to this. Immediately upon applying this has so much more like sticking power than the lip oil does. I just feel like that, I know that glitter is going to stay in place. The formula is not very thick, but it feels like it's going to stay. The dispersing of glitter is like perfect. I just really like this. Let me get you in. I've never paired it with Mayfair, which I do have on still before. I think it's pretty with Mayfair, but I think it's even prettier with Capricorn from Merit. The Capricorn lip liner has been, I just love that color. If anyone knows of like a lipstick that's the color of Capricorn, maybe that will be my next Sephora trip. I'll be like, I'll grab a Sephora employee and me. I'll be like, see Capricorn? I want that in a lipstick and a matte lip liner. Okay, I'm gonna finish off with some Fix Plus and then we'll go over everything again. I feel like I was pretty thorough in talking about it, but you know, just kind of like a final touching of everything, a final thoughts sort of situation. This is really pretty. I mean, I think the purple lip makes less sense than this lip with it. We're having fun. We're having fun here. The TONYMOLY Egg Pore Primer, I really like it as a nose primer. I do already have the Sisley Blur Expert, but sometimes I don't want to use a powder on my nose before I start applying other things. So I might, this has a possibility of being an alternative nose primer, or on days also where my pores feel like if I feel like I'm more self-conscious about my pores, I like also applying it like on the forehead and like right at the front of my cheeks as well. It's very gimmicky, but I do think the goop inside is quite nice. Dior Beige Mitzah. I think putting on the highlighter on top of it really saved it. If you like intense, sparkly, single eyeshadows, I think it's mid. I think it's only mid. If you think sparkly eyeshadows aren't for you, but you like the beigey quality, then this might be the right option for you. The Hourglass Skin Tint. I think I need to put this in my everyday makeup drawer, which I might just do now before the rotation. I'm not choosing it, and I guess I don't know why I'm not choosing it. And I want to see if like it's in the spot where I'm mostly pulling my makeup from day-to-day use, if it gets there for me. The Westman Atelier concealer I really like. I just wish the shade was better, and I think if the shade was better, I would feel even more in tune and love it. But it is such an intriguing and lovely formula that I am choosing it sometimes in my free time. So do with that information what you will. Grisaille, I think, is like maybe one of the perfect color bronzers for me from Surratt. I think it goes with my skin. Like, it warmed up my skin, but I feel like it didn't do too much. Didn't distract from all the other things, which sometimes if you go too far with a bronzer, it can really distract. But I think it's really beautiful for a bronzer for me. When I'm in the club, I wanna wear cult classic. Cult classic. Cult classic. You know what I mean? It's beautiful. Gorgeous. It's my favorite color blush. It's not the only version of that blush that I have, but I love it. The Cold Shoulder Highlighter. I really like it as an eyeshadow, but it also, as an eyeshadow, it's like a lot of my other favorite eyeshadows. As a highlighter, I don't love it as much, but like I said, I think if they took the chunky sparkle out of it, and whatever that base highlighter formula is like, I would like to see that. I'd like to see that. Trixie Cosmetics, put your listings on. Come hear me out. Again, available. She's available. I've been talking for an hour and a half, and I'm like, recapping, and I'm recapping so quickly. The lip liner from Merit, I stand by. You should just go experience in store if you can. And I think it's a divisive product. I think it's divisive for a reason. If you don't love lip liner, but you've been interested in lip liner, or you want to try lip liners, I think this might be worth it for you. But again, people who love lip liners, want lip liners that last all day, it's not going to be for you. But again, I like it, but I like the colors too. I wish they would, maybe I would love to see them do another formula that is for the lip liner girls. Do that too. I threw in some bonus product. The lip oil I wouldn't buy again from FENTY. It's like fine. I think it nourishes the lips. I think it's also a pretty color, but I want this color in a gloss bomb. Rihanna, FENTY, listen, you too. You don't need to collab with me to do that. Trixie, I want in. Rihanna, I know my place. The Gloss Bomb sticks though. Yeah, I think they have some other colors that I would be interested. I love the sparkly lip, but it also doesn't feel too sparkly. It kind of reminds me of like the really sparkly Pat McGrath lip glosses that I liked. Very into this. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said at the beginning, if you're not already subscribed, I would love for you to subscribe. Like I said also at the beginning, I was talking about newness to me in this video, but what I really like to do on my channel is to focus on the makeup that I already have, love and cherish that makeup before making any makeup purchases. And I just want to help you be more discerning about the makeup that you are buying as well. I have Patreon and I have channel memberships. Over there this month, I'll be posting a Vive First Impressions. The full review will be out on YouTube whenever I get that far, but first impressions are for members and patrons. So if you want to see that, you can subscribe. But if you do not want to join my Patreon or you don't want to join my channel memberships, I totally get it. No worries. I'm just happy that you are here. I have a pinned comment. I will have some important links down there. 5calls.org if you live in the United States. There's some scripts to call your senators and representatives to tell them what you would like for them to do. And calling is the best way to get that to happen. If I were you and I went to 5calls.org, I would probably do this one for your top issue, but you can pick, there are so many issues that they have scripts for, but this one's bring Abrego Garcia home and stop Trump's plan to traffic civilians to a foreign gulag. Because fascism, we do not want it, and we need to tell them that we don't want that. There's also fight the Trump administration's defiance to the Constitution and courts. You might want to try that script. I do have links to help families in Gaza, and I also have links to help trans people in Pittsburgh. If you have the money to support those organizations, please do. But if not, just make sure you're doing what you can. Also, make sure you're staying safe, keeping yourself seen. It's very hard to do in the world right now, but just know that I love you, and I'm so happy that you are here, and we are going to get through this together. Anyway, that's going to wrap up this video. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to follow your hope, and you'll find me. In the club, wearing cult classic. Cult classic, wearing cult classic. I'll see you in the next video. Go forth. Oh, tits out.